Welcome to the Get Back, music work talk in Central Texas, Fridays at 1 p.m. Brought to you by the Austin Federation of Musicians and with the Unemployment Compensation Advisory Committee. The Unemployment Compensation Advisory Committee are members of the Austin Federation of Musicians, Local 433 of the American Federation of Musicians, aka the Musicians Union. Some of us work as contractor 1099 workers, and others work as employee W-2 workers in various aspects of the music industry.
The goal is to share our experiences, trials, and tribulations related to the Texas Workforce Commission, or TWC, with other musicians in the state of Texas to aid in navigating the TWC application process. We are not experts in unemployment assistance. We are musicians.
The information contained herein does not constitute either legal advice or an official pronouncement or a position of the Austin Federation of Musicians, but rather is only the personal opinions of the panelists. The panelists do not give legal advice or make official rulings on agency matters, should not be cited as authorities in any matter before the agency or when dealing with agency staff about a case, and must minimize their involvement with administrative processes. They also do not give legal advice on any other matter, and any information they should give should not be used as a basis for taking any employment-related action. Before taking any employment action that could adversely affect an employee, or before using any sample form or policy you may obtain from this group, you should consult a licensed, private sector, employment law attorney of your choice. All right, welcome to the Get Back. It is Friday, December 17th, 2021, and yeah, we are here. I'm Aaron. Russell's here as well. Hello, Russell. Yeah, we always start with the links down at the bottom about how to get a hold of the union and how to join, and different links about unemployment and COVID aid and things, and then also the specific links if you're watching the playback later. The specific links about what we talked about will be down there too. So check all that out, and then yeah, we start with beverages too. I'm doing straight coffee as usual. What about you, Russell?
Back to water.
Back there it is. Remarkably consistent. Man. Well, gosh, yeah, so we kind of did an experiment last week. We were both in the office together, and that was super fun. But the broadcast didn't go very well. I don't think we got a salvageable broadcast. But if you joined us live, you probably saw what we were doing maybe in fits and starts. But we got it done. But yeah, I don't think there's an archive from last week that we could use. So we're back in the home offices today, and we may try that again in the future. But we'll do some technical improvements before then. And yeah, but geez, well, there's lots of stuff still happening. I guess we can start with. We can start with the San Antonio Symphony again. Our brothers and sisters down there are still on strike. Fighting against basically the dismantling of their orchestra down there, which is a world-class orchestra. And it's been called to attention over the last couple of weeks that the city's building like a new basketball stadium down there, and yet the symphony is about to expire here almost. So it's kind of a dark thing down there, dark days. But hopefully we can keep fighting and get that symphony back on the right track, because it's really an incredible group. It's world class.
And for those that are listening, if you can send something their way, anything would be greatly appreciated, because they're not being paid while they're out there. So
yep. Yeah.
And it really seems like, for whatever reason, they are up against a very hostile management.
Yeah, absolutely, man. There was a last minute picket called for Wednesday evening this week, because apparently the management was going to meet at the symphony offices on Wednesday evening, and the musicians got together and said, "Oh, can you make it? Can you make it? Can you make it?" And they got a group of people together that were going to go pick it, and then the management canceled the meeting. So that's interesting because it's, they're the musicians are, definitely affecting the thinking of the management there. So that's an interesting development that happened this week. So then the picket was canceled after the meeting was canceled, so they're making a difference. There is also a group getting together tomorrow on Saturday down in San Antonio at the Tobin Center to give out informational leaflets from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Majestic Theater down there in downtown San Antonio. If any musicians are able to go and help out with that, that'll be an important effort, because the leaflets actually have information about what's going on, and they want to give that information to the public in general that are down there. So that's one way you can help. That doesn't involve a financial contribution, because a lot of us can't make a financial contribution this time of year. But we'll have a link down in the bottom where you can actually also make a financial contribution to that effort as well, if you're able. So ugly situation, but it's still coming. The new, I'm not sure if I have it. No, I don't have it right here. But the new international musician has an article from our international president about the San Antonio strike, because he was down there last month and spoke at one of the rallies down there. So check that out. That's a really nicely written article from President Ray Hare of the International AFM. So yes, indeed. But yeah, the strikes all over the place. I was gonna pull up that. Did you see that thing from Kellogg's?
That was great.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, because they're still on strike. Those workers are still on strike. The Kellogg's is bringing in, apparently, they're bringing in replacement workers, or strike breakers as they're called, and that's really not cool, so yeah. Let me see. Can I get this up here? Man, that's gonna be a weird angle. Screen share. Oh, there we go. Well, that's kind of there. Yep. Here, I have to move it down a little bit. Let's see if it moves. No, it doesn't want to move. But anyway, you can see.
Yeah, I tried to save that too.
Yeah,
that was great.
It's a pretty good little illustration there. It's got corp flax instead of cornflakes, and fiduciary flakes instead of frosted flakes, and labor smacks instead of sugar smacks, and
yeah, that was funny. I saw that.
Scabbed Krispies instead of Rice Krispies, and No Raises bran, and Fruit Looters instead of Fruit Loops, and oh man, yeah, interesting.
It's funny, but that's pretty accurate.
yeah, pretty well thought out little thing, and the little frog from Sugar Smacks has like a riot shield, and a bat, and oh man, a billy club, I guess. So interesting. I think it's still safe for work, but maybe not for the kids necessarily. But
right, yeah.
But hopefully that's going to get resolved soon, and we can go back to enjoying Kellogg's breakfast cereal. But right now, nobody's buying it, because nobody wants to see workers treated that way. That's pretty awful. So yeah. Yes, indeed, man. So, but yeah, the strike. I guess it was Striketober, then it was Strikesgiving, and now it's Strikesmas. I guess we're coming on Strikesmas, which, as you stated, Russell. I mean, people don't get paid when they're on strike. That's
right.
Christmas is the hardest time to be on strike, and our hearts go out to those workers, all the workers all over the country that are on strike this Christmas for better wages and working conditions. That's what it's about.
Although on the other side of that, the big resignation is in full swing.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching last night, and they were saying that it's in the hundreds of thousands of people that are just had it, that they're just walking off the job saying, "I won't be treated this way anymore."
Yeah, yeah, and it's been building up for decades.
It has,
You know.
and now the corporations are being affected. And I was reading how they're starting to act like sports teams, whether they're giving you sinus bonings and these type things, and
Oh, signing bonuses. Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and offering you all kind of incentives to come to work for them,
Mm-hmm.
and the market that they're going after now are the retirees,
Oh yeah.
because they think that they want to pay them as much, and in a kind of a cold-blooded way of thinking, they won't be around as long.
It's true. Yeah. One and a lot of folks that retired in the last, the unfortunate truth is, a lot of the folks that retired in the last 10, 15 years, you know, don't have good enough retirement plans to keep going. A lot of folks have run out of money in their 401ks and things like that, which is why labor unions have always favored pensions, because that takes care of you until you go, and yeah. So that's another thing we have to start talking about, because a lot of folks just don't understand the issue, and we can all understand it. It's either in our favor or it's not.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And for the longest, they haven't wanted us to understand the issue,
that's right.
because if you knew, I mean, the Great Resignation would have happened years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of those things they say, oh yeah, you have to go get a financial advisor. You can't possibly understand how that works. It's so complicated.
Yeah.
The average person just can't do it, which is not true.
You better let us handle that.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
You just show up, and
Yeah. Yeah.
we'll take it from there.
Yeah. Aren't you glad you don't have to figure that out? And yeah. And this is where we are. So
Right.
yeah, that's a good point, brother. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess moving on. Let's stay local here. We've got some club cancellations, I guess. Unfortunately, downtown, there's an article in the paper about Cheer Up Charlie's, the club downtown. They announced Wednesday afternoon on Instagram that they're closed from Thursday through December 26th in order to protect our communities associated with our spaces. Extended ecosystems was the quote. That's an interesting way of putting it. But yeah, apparently it's has to do with the Omicron variant, and yeah, unfortunately. So that it says the post did not go into detail about the decision process. It did read, Omicron is present in our community, and we want to go ahead and take extra early precautions so that we can all be healthy for New Year's Eve. So apparently they're planning on going ahead with New Year's Eve. The post also mentioned that the owners anticipated crowds if they were to stay open. So there you go. So it's due to Omicron, but they're not saying necessarily that there's an infection there amongst the staff, but they're taking steps to make sure that doesn't happen.
Sure.
And we of course we appreciate keeping the workers healthy, but that also is kind of a value judgment. They must feel like they're going to make more money on New Year's Eve, so they want to kind of bank up for that. I think is sort of the idea. I hope that's true. Hope it winds up. And hopefully some musicians get some decent work on New Year's Eve this year because it is needed. Yeah. Yeah, man. You and I were just talking about before the broadcast, events are getting canceled, not necessarily from infections, but sometimes, but also from fear of the surge that may be coming here due to this variant. So, yeah. And of course, also things aren't getting scheduled sometimes. You know, this whole
Yeah.
fall has been kind of last minute as far as planning. Everybody's calling. Can you play next week? Can you play Friday? Can you play? And,
Stay close to your phone because you just never know.
yes, yeah. Oh man. But we definitely want to encourage everybody to get that booster or get your first vaccine shot if you haven't gotten it yet, and continue wearing the masks, especially indoors, because it works. It does work. But having said that, we know our brothers and sisters on Broadway are wearing masks because that's in their safety protocols that they negotiated and agreed to, and several Broadway shows in New York had to close down operations this week due to infections. And so, yeah, keep wearing those masks, but you still got to be careful. Keep doing the social distancing.
Right.
Yeah, we don't know if the infections happened in the pit or in the cast or where are they. It doesn't say. I've got a New York Times article here, so we don't know. But yeah, we do know that, of course, the musicians down in the pit are taking extraordinary precautions to get back to work that were negotiated over the summer, and our hearts are with those folks for their safety. But they've got really good precautions. They're wearing masks. They're getting tested. They've got a vaccine requirement there. So hopefully it's not the musicians. But we'll see. We'll have to keep following that story. But yeah, a lot of disappointed attendees to Broadway shows in New York this week.
Because they hadn't recently just come back.
Yeah. Yep, just this September, I think, right, or August maybe.
Yeah, it hadn't been too long.
Nope, and I mean these are temporary closures, I believe. So they're kind of doing it day by day to see what's going on. So it's not like a total shutdown like what happened in 2020. And we hope we don't have to do that again. Let's keep it going. But the health and safety, of course, of the artists and the audiences has to be paramount. It's you can replace everything else but the people. So
it has to be first.
Yeah. So we'll have that New York Times article in the show notes as well. We were trying to find out locally. I don't think there has been a cancellation of any of the shows. It looks like Hamilton is running. It looks like downtown. It looks like the Nutcracker's running. Other shows at the Long Center, of course. This is where we're talking about the Nutcracker with our brothers and sisters with the Austin Symphony playing down there. That's going ahead. They have really good safety protocols as well. So we're praying that there's no issues there. And other larger shows around town, I believe, are still going ahead, at least for this weekend. I haven't heard of any other cancellations, but keep your eye out if you're going out. Make sure you check before you go, and plan to have that mask with you the whole time. And yeah, yes, indeed, man. What else were we going to talk about this week? Let's see. I think that's about all I had. What have you been hearing about, brother?
Well, for the comedic part of our show, our governor has decided that he has decided to build a wall in Mexico.
Oh, yes. Should I bring the drums over into the thing?
Yeah.
No.
He as if we have nothing better to do. He's doing that now.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, with like shipping containers, like a wall of shipping containers, and
just preposterous.
Yeah.
That's just ludicrous.
Yeah, inexplicable with everything else going on. Yeah. Unrelated to that, there's next year is an election year for the governorship.
That's right.
Totally unrelated to that conversation.
So do give serious consideration to candidates and what their platforms are.
Yes, yeah, yeah. They're supposed to tell you what they believe in before you elect them. So
Yeah.
let's ask them. Let's keep asking them. Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, yeah. I mean, geez, yeah. There's an article. I remember seeing an article this week about the power plants. And how a lot of the power plants still haven't done those winterization things that were needed last year, and then were the cause of the big power outage last year.
Right.
Oh man. Well, that wasn't even last year. That was this year. That's right.
Right.
That was the. Yeah. Oh man.
And you know that tomorrow there's a chance that it may sleet.
Oh really? Down here?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So we may have a cold snap here,
Man.
which
Zoinks.
hopefully we're ready.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Yikes. Man. Yeah. I gotta watch that, man. Yeah. I'm working outdoors tonight, and I'm working outdoors on Sunday, but not tomorrow. So I'm hoping
Yeah.
it all comes tomorrow. But
Get it over with and be done.
But that's a whole other issue, man. Like so many of us are working outdoors, and this fall has been gorgeous weather. I mean, we've been really
Right.
lucky this fall for weather, and we've been able to work outdoors, especially in Austin, Texas here, and in the surrounding areas. But that's coming to an end when we can really rely on good weather. Not that we're not going to have good weather, because it was like 90 degrees yesterday, right? But
Yeah, we broke a record
it
for
was beautiful.
temperature. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
but you can't necessarily rely on it. So that's something. When you do your contract, make sure you have a weather clause and a rain plan
That's right.
in there, and a snow plan, a snowpocalypse plan, perhaps, if you're booking for February. Yeah. So, and there's no reason that stuff shouldn't be in there. Anybody planning an outdoor event should have some way to accomplish it indoors in bad weather, especially this time of year. We've been getting away without that this fall because everybody's ready to get back to work.
Right. Right.
But yeah, we really got to think about that now because the weather's not reliable, at least for the next, I don't know, what do you think, 4 or 5 months? It's
Yeah.
yeah,
We just don't know.
yeah,
And this is what I think we're a month away from our hurricane season, where they kind of get the Gulf active down there.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
We don't usually get hurricanes in Austin, but we get the tornadoes and the thunderstorms.
absolutely. We get the flooding.
Yeah, we get the flooding.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So, yeah. Whew. Yeah, you heard that song, Texas Flood.
Mm-hmm.
It's a true story, right?
Stevie.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So, goodness gracious. All right. Man. Well, anything else we should bring up before we sign off, brother?
Yes, the money's still at the city.
Oh, the rent relief you're talking about.
Yeah, please remember that if you need it, go get it.
Yeah, don't go any longer with,
Yeah.
months and months of back rent. Like there's help for that. And it's gotten better. It's gotten easier to get.
Yep.
But it is going fast, but it's still there,
Yep.
right? Yep.
Still there.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think after the end of this month, the whole thing resets, and they may
Mhm.
decide to put that money somewhere else. And so, yeah, look into it now for sure.
Mhm.
Give yourself a
Wow.
Christmas present if you need that. If you need
Right.
that help. Yeah. Mhm.
It's there.
And that'll help your landlord and everybody. So,
Mhm.
yeah. And it'll help the music business because it will keep you housed, and that's what we want. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, it takes a burden off a lot of things. It takes a burden off the health care, the mental health care,
Hmm.
because it mentally stresses you out if you don't know where you're going to live and where you're going to be. And
Yes.
so, it's beneficial to a lot of things.
Hmm.
It's there, it's available, and thank you to the city government and our mayor for providing that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's much needed still.
Mhm.
Still, Yeah. Yes, indeed. Oh man. Well, I think our next episode, we're going to take the next several weeks off with the holidays and everything, all the holiday work and holiday everything. But I think the next time we get together will probably be maybe the 7th of January. Are you going to be back in town for the 7th of January?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, I'll be right here.
Okay. I think that might be the next time. Yeah, we'll keep talking about all this stuff about getting back to work, and we'll see what that looks like in another 3 weeks. It'd be interesting to see what transpires.
Yeah, I think since I'll have a couple of days off, I'm gonna build a wall around my little area here.
But I don't know if you can get those shipping containers up the stairs, man.
Yeah, I don't know if we can do that.
You need a big dolly for that.
Just Red and I, we're just gonna build a little wall.
I mean, I know you're used to moving bass amps, and those are pretty big.
Right?
But... oh, maybe just use those.
Yeah, just build them around.
Nobody's gonna be able to move those things. Those are solid. Oh man. All right. Well, you, the viewer, if you are in the music industry, don't give up. We can get through this, and we are getting through this by sharing information and solidarity. Now's the time to start doing. We can all start doing our business better than we're doing before. Use contracts. Join the union. File your union contracts. That's what it's for. That's how it works. That's how we raise the status of the entire industry. With every one little gig we do, we can do that when it's on a union contract, and it all helps. Tiny little increments. We're working towards better wages and working conditions for the whole business, and we've got to. Yeah. So. All right, I guess we will see you next year on the Get Back. See you then.